So in my last video, I mentioned that my family and I were kidnapped in Nigeria. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you the gist about that experience. So stay tuned. Oh, please subscribe to this channel. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiana and I make videos to inspire and help you and I live our best lives. So welcome. So let me give you the gist. It was a few years ago, my family and I decided to go back to Nigeria to celebrate the Christmas with family and friends, So, and I just had a baby. My baby was about 7 months or 8 months old at that time. So we, packed our bags and then we traveled down to Nigeria. On getting to Nigeria, everything was going fine, because we hadn't been home for a while. So everything was looking really strange and different, but it was okay. We were having fun for the first few days. So one evening we decided to go and visit my in-laws. They lived on another side of like a few streets from where we were living or we were staying. So we got there now. We stayed with them. We had fun. We ate, and then it was time for us to go back to where we were staying. We got into the car and we started heading back. On our way now, very close to the place where we were putting up for the time that we were in Nigeria, we got to something that looked like a checkpoint. It looked like a checkpoint. And there were a few young men standing and guarding the checkpoint. So when we drove close to them, they motioned for us to stop. And we thought it was just the normal vigilantes who, look after the area and make sure that the place is safe. So my husband stopped because he was driving. So he stopped the car and he wound down the window and he greeted them. He said, "How na dey o?" He greeted them. They answered and he said, "Oga, wetin dey your boot?" Like they usually ask. So my husband laughed and said, "There's nothing in the boot." So they asked him to come down and open the boot. And he did. And as soon as he got down from the car, the next thing we saw was that one of them pulled out a gun and put it on his stomach and told him to be quiet. I was sitting at the back of the car with the baby with the little boy in my hand. He was 8 months old. So when they did that, about 3 other guys just jumped out from nowhere and jumped into the car with me, at the back. Then they shoved my husband into the car in the front, and then one of them started driving, and they told us to be quiet. Guys, I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was playing a prank on me. I was like, no, this is a joke. This is something from Nollywood movie. No, this is a joke. It's not happening to me. It's not happening to me. And we were quiet. Thank God my baby was quiet as well. They drove us for a while, a very long while. We didn't know where they were taking us to, into a very thick forest. And then as soon as we got to where they were taking us, they brought out clothes and then they blindfolded us. They blindfolded me, they blindfolded my husband. And then they asked me to hold the baby, and I did. I was holding my baby. My baby wasn't crying, funny enough. That was great for them. So they started shoving us into the bush. They said, "Make sure you're not making any noise." So we were quiet. That's how they took us into the bushes. It was, oh my God, it was a harrowing experience. As we're going into the bush, there were thorns. I don't know what kind of bush that was, but there were so much thorns, and we weren't, because when we got out of the car, my shoes were lost, so I was barefooted. So I was stepping on those sharp thorns or whatever. I was feeling things spiking heavy into my feet, but I couldn't scream because they said be quiet, and I was holding my son, so I had to be quiet for the safety of the little child that I was holding. So we walked and walked it was a long walk in the forest. I knew it was a forest because they kept clearing. I could hear them, cutting down trees so to make a path so we could pass by. And then they got to a spot. It was a very swampy place. And then they asked us to sit in the swamp. It was a muddy, swampy area. So we were asked to sit in the swamp and be quiet. And they took our phones and they started making phone calls. They asked my husband, they said, do you have anybody who can bring us money? Husband said yes. So he gave them the number of somebody. And they started making the calls. While they were making the calls, my son started crying. You know kids now, I'm sure, because he wasn't blindfolded, so he was like seeing the pitch darkness. I'm wondering where the heck he was. So he started crying, and one of them said to me, madam, if you don't tell your pikin to shut up, we go shoot him now. And so I slapped my baby and I told him to keep quiet. I don't know, I wasn't thinking, but I just needed the baby to be quiet.